pocket isn't tight enough for you to have more smoke than that.
I can't take more smoke than that.
Oh, yeah? All right. So he said, what, West Virginia? I came to West Virginia, yeah. And,
West Virginia, yeah.
Then West Virginia, I went back to New York. I was responsible, one of the people responsible for convincing Love to not love 22, but love family.
Love Israel. 22, there's that name.
Love Israel.
Love Israel, right. Not 22. But also 22 that year to convince them to come to the Democratic Convention.
Yeah.
To go to the Pentagon with Tony Crow and march around the Pentagon and get the Pentagon, the Department of Defense, to give us the right to plant a peace tree on the Pentagon, on one of those sides where the sun is, as I remember, the sun goes down is the side that we voted on. I'll ask Tony Crow, there's minutes on it somewhere. And this is for your, you know, those who possess tapes of this and these interviews and any portions that he's got know that in any portion that he might pick from this that would be relevant to an archival history of the family, I hereby donate my time and my willingness to vouch for and or supply witnesses to most of the things that I would venture to say.
Ah, there we go.
That's not legal, but I'm pretty sure it's binding.
Depends on whether I put it on television.
Whether it's legal, it's binding, and we're gentlemen, and so therefore. But, and I did that for some reason, and I've lost it, and that shows how good the herb is.
Copyrights, I know, you gotta book that. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, but I was referring to...
You know...
Do you want to tell the story of...
Wait a minute, I'm in...
No, we're talking about West Virginia here.
I was asking about West Virginia.
Yeah, what, just before I made that disclaimer, I said I was talking about something.
Probably some special counsel with, about something that specific people were at.
Well, you could stop it, roll it back and see it, can't you?
No, I can't.
No, you can't? More technology. Better next time. Okay, well, there you go. It proves that even I, if it comes back, we'll let you know. What's your question, Jules?
Hey, Jules.
Just to clarify the deaths that occurred in or near the gathering in West Virginia, which I alluded to.
Oh, I was referring to Tony Crow and the tree. Good, thanks. Good bridge.
Just
because Tony Crow
would be the person. I could not.
The record on the two women would be, you would have to either ask Amazing Dave or Tony Crow. And I forget who else has worked on that, but those two, and Barry, or Barry, who have worked specifically with the sheriff, with the judge, they were involved with the news, the press conference with the Secretary of State, and then the governor when it happened and all that stuff. So that would be who I. But anyway, that I heard about it, and before I even got on the land, I was in a sort of state of the women here must feel totally threatened. They've fired shots at Bus Village. Whoever was the scouting party for this should be hung by their toes.
Why?
Because we're on the road, next to the creek. You can't, if you put your family down in the creek, you got all the goons on the road. The goons on the road have got guns in their hands. It's the type of country that you camped in.
So
and you can take this back to the family. I think most of the scouting parties have been sucked over the years. The only thing that saved us was the spirit.
Yeah.
We freed up the Monongahela, whatever it is, at the Tri-County Minnehaha waters. I forget it, but it was the most treasured 3 or 4 or 5 Indian words that you could say was the land that we were on. And by our fact of us being there, as I understand it, the coal company Peabody was deterred forever from carving that place out in a sluice bin, which was about to happen because nobody locally had stayed overnight or something on the land. They didn't even let family picnics stay overnight because they were trying to make this live up to this contract.
Peabody Coal Train.
I think it was Peabody,
Yeah.
but it was. You check it out, man. It was. I may have it a little twisted,
I believe
from the
that's
way that
probably the
things come.
truth.
but it's pretty close to the truth.
Okay, so I don't really care about these poor girls that died in West Virginia.
Well, what I was getting at is that I came on the land as a father of 5 daughters, and just out
So
of
you
prison.
were
Just
freaked
out of prison, knowing how the brutality of the all-male societies that I had lived in, the army, the boarding school, the penitentiary, you know.
Yeah. All brutal.
I
society.
came on the land in West Virginia with the idea that any sister that was there that I could help in any way. I was a vehicle for the mother. I am a brother of an older sister, of a younger sister, and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So from that standpoint, that's the way I came on the land. And
How many people were there?
there were,
Over a
I would
2-week
say-
period now.
I would say that West Virginia probably had 17,500.
17,000.
Yeah, 17,500 at least went through there
Okay.
easy. There was always 7 to 8 on the land.
Always 7,000 to 8,000 people.
On the land. Counting the parking lot and stuff.
Taking up how many acres?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Take up 150 acres. That's a place the size of Earth People's Park, right?
No, his is 600.
600
He's
Earth
640. Actually, it's a square mile. 600.
And Earth People's Park is?
Yeah.
Oh, so is it that size? Did they take up that much land?
Well, see, we were strung out 1.5 miles on the road. And that was essentially Bus Village. And then there was like a 1/2 mile at the end of that, you know, when you're on the trail, on the other side of the stream is right there, right? So now the main trail, another 1/2 mile past the end of Bus Village's line, was another whole camp area. So you're talking about 2 miles of camp and
So bigger than the park.
and almost like West Virginia. I mean, almost like Pennsylvania. We had the Pennsylvania gathering.
No, I haven't.
In that sense, a strung out gathering. It was a strung out gathering, not a wide gathering like Washington or Idaho, wide, squarish kind of. It was a long trip, like California, but not near as long. Not near as long. But a lot of the qualities of California were first. They first rose
Did you
and
go
were
in
accepted
California?
at West Virginia, which was the evening promenade took over at West Virginia. The fires almost killed us in the fog, but the idea of having an evening promenade with lights and the stage lit by these flare candle lights and electric in the parking lot, the first little flippy box, that all came out at West Virginia and was cool and mellow and it was accepted.
Your small flippy box, your electric guitar.
Yeah, because it was like
It was
the quality of the guys. What do they call themselves? The two twins, double dose.
Double dose.
Oh,
It was
really?
it was not that loud but it was the quality of an acoustic, someone who was good on acoustics,
They were pretty good, yeah.
and or somebody who was good singing
Yeah.
with them in one of these small boxes that made a little bit of sound off the side of their truck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Their van or their bus.
They run them off a generator.
Or the battery, and it was not offensive, and it wasn't late at night, and it wasn't rock and roll.
Well, Well, yeah, it was.
There hadn't really been any of those up to.
No,
and
because it was
including
mostly like
Arizona.
funk and new age and bubble music.
Double
What I call
Dose
bubble
Double
music.
Dose is a,
No,
is a-
these guys in Virginia, West Virginia,
Oh, it wasn't
when they
Double
first
Dose.
started.
No,
No,
it
no.
was that quality.
Oh, because Double Dose.
They're good. They do rock and roll, but they do other stuff too.
They do dead.